Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise. Swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/dating/over40 because it's a little bit funnier and also easier to sort than the regular r/dating subreddit. and let's be honest, I am 100% identifying with the old heads these days, so ain't nothing wrong with that, I do suppose. You get up in age, it's what happens. You kids don't know about it yet. I'm gonna get out here and wave my cane and everything. I did find some relatively interesting ones that we should discuss. We'll see how YouTube likes it, I didn't live stream on Twitch, but I will. I'll play some games over there pretty soon. If you'd like to follow and get notified, that link in the description. Let's go ahead. We'll get some additional plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/dating/over40 cringe. Am I the antagonist for ghosting him after finding out how dirty he is at 42 years old? Dirty blankets, collapsing ceiling, dusty dining room. Yeah, he sounds like a sort of a beard light, if we're being honest about that. Collapsing ceiling's the most concerning thing to me. Dusty dining room, he doesn't use it that much. Dirty blankets, well, that's pretty unforgivable too if you're gonna invite somebody over to your house. Expect them to roll around with you in said blankets. Anyways, let's get into the post. So, I've been seeing this one guy that I really liked before I found out what a slob he is. So we'd been chatting for about 2 months. We decided to hang out and I slept over at his place. Oh my goodness, what a rough night. That is so unfortunate, OP. Brave of you to go out on a limb like that, commit to sleeping at his place before you've seen his place. But yeah, I guess we take stuff like that as a lesson. Like, okay, next time I'm gonna try and scope out the pad first. Every single one of his blankets was dirty. It's winter here, and I could hardly breathe due to the stifling smell. Oh, God. No, it's either be cold or smell your armpits. I think I'm gonna go with hypothermia. It sounded pretty good right now. We went out for drinks before and all I could smell in his car were dirty clothes. See? Now we add that to the list of red flags that we've got. Even at 40 years old, I guess it's always a learning experience. That's life. It never stops being a learning experience. Your car smells like dirty clothes. Your house probably also smells like dirty clothes. So once we get to his place, we hang out with his cousins in an extremely dirty dining room. With his cousins? I did.
Carlton, we are family. Of course I should be spending time with you.
It was so dusty, I was afraid to touch anything. Once we moved to the room, I realized that the ceiling is about to bloody collapse. Yeah, that's not a good situation. Just sleep in the living room. Maybe have a firm talk with him. So at this point, I had mentally checked out and didn't want to see any more of his house. Somehow I find myself in his quote-unquote kitchen, and there are cupboards or drawers. His food and condiments were just on some random table. This is a 42-year-old man we're talking about. Bro, leave his kitchen alone. All kitchens have cupboards and drawers. I probably wouldn't recommend keeping all the condiments on the the random table, especially not the mayonnaise. But yeah, that seems like a little bit nitpicky to me. Collapsing ceiling, dirty blankets, I identify. Dusty dining room, condiments on the table, I give a pass. That's fine. I've been hesitant to see him again because I am utterly disgusted and he tells me that he misses me. I don't want to ghost him, but I'm almost left with no choice. Not really, you choose your own path in life, man. Is there a way I could tell him I've lost interest due to his lack of hygiene without being too brutal? I'm not about to clean up or raise a grown-ass dude. And nor should you have to, but you should at least see if he has the want to change, because people can change if they're given a bit of direction, if that's something that they're truly interested in doing. I don't think this dude legitimately likes living like this, might be depressed or something like that. I guarantee that a relationship is not the way to find your way out of that depression, but maybe you could just, be a good friend to him in his hour of need. This man is quite clearly hurt in some way, and though a relationship is the wrong way to try and get out of it, yeah, why not offer a helping hand if you feel capable of doing that? Sometimes getting the hell out is the best answer. Anyways, edit. I sent him a polite message letting him know that I can't commit to him and a relationship. He says, "I shouldn't worry and we'll sort it out." Shaking my head. Yeah, that's not the correct answer. You haven't even heard what it is yet and you're just so ready to sort it out. It does give some signs that he at least likes OP as much as she likes him, so maybe he would change. But I'm just saying, get the changing done first. Stop inviting women back to your dirty blanket rat nest. Gross. Update. So I had to end up just being brutally honest as he was not getting the hint. Here's what I sent him. Long message. "Hi, I see you tried calling me last night. I'd made myself clear that I don't want to pursue a relationship with you, so maybe I should fully disclose why so you understand." Oh, honestly, it seems brutal, but you are doing him a favor. He can let his ego get in the way and blame you for just being too uptight, but it also might be a turning point in his life where he's like, Jesus, I do need to make some changes around here. Anyways, I've honestly been very uncomfortable at your place every time I'm there. Oh, so it wasn't a sleepover the very first time. Why'd you agree to the sleepover? There's more to this story, I'm telling you. I'm still shocked at the state that you live in. Everything in there is dirty and it is really a turnoff. Your blankets smell of dirt. It doesn't seem like you've washed them, and so do some of your clothes. Oh, God. 42, dude? Maybe he's just living that bachelor lifestyle, living in a pile of trash. But really, that's something you should do in your 20s. At 42, come on, you're old enough. There is also dust collecting in your dining room. The ceiling in your bedroom's about to collapse, which is a big safety hazard. Yeah, maybe he didn't notice legitimately, but you lay on your back, you look at that ceiling. Your yard also has a lot of overgrown weeds. You are in your 40s. If you can't take care of your personal space, how will you take care of me or any other person you get into a relationship with? I really suggest you make some lifestyle changes. It'll do you good. I hope this is clear enough. It might be brutal, and I didn't want to bruise your ego, but I clearly had to explain. I wouldn't worry too much about the bruised ego, OP. Probably this isn't even the first time that he's heard this. He's just like, yeah, whatever, you're shallow. If you can't come live in the trash nest with me, you're totally shallow. I can't be in a relationship with someone in their 40s who still lives and acts like a teenager. And please don't say we can work it out, because I do not want to raise you. Woo! Just laying down the law. This OP, loss of self-respect, I'm really loving that look. Do not ever settle just to be in a relationship, especially if they're asking you to compromise on something that means a lot to you. You know, obviously this is a cleanly woman who can't stand a dusty dining room. If this is allowed to continue, then you end up in like an Oscar and Felix type of situation. Literally the odd couple. See, that's an old joke, but it's in the DatingOverFourty subreddit, so it's fine. There are standard things, e.g. cleaning and keeping your space tidy, that should come naturally to you, especially at this age. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and ask that you give me space, as I asked initially. Take care. Honestly, there's nothing insulting in here. You might have demeaned him a little bit when you said that he lives and acts like a teenager, but to me, that does smell close enough to the truth, doesn't it? Come on, dude. How can you make the decision to live in trash for decades on end? I don't know. I do feel some sympathy towards the dude, but the OP is 100% right that she doesn't have to sit there and raise him. You want to work on this stuff? Work on it by yourself. Do better for the next chick. I'm out. I get that. I respect that. I love that. The dude responds and says, "Wow, I didn't see this coming." Really? Anyway, it's okay. It's your choice, but just so you know, I never judge a woman I want to be with because my role is to help her become a better person. Oh, God. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna drag her down into your depths. Or really, you're just saying that because you feel entitled to this woman's help. On top of that, I can practically guarantee that he is definitely judging anybody else that he gets into a relationship with. I mean, that's just kind of a human response, right? Would you be in that relationship if she didn't act the way she did or look the way that she looked? No, you wouldn't. You can't help your own attractiveness, so everybody's judging all the time. Some people, precious few, might reach out, try to help you become a better, more understanding person, but most people, they're just gonna shrug, laugh, walk away. You gotta be all right with that too. So you should always ask yourself why many relationships never work out. You do not judge another person, especially on your way out. You share your honesty on your way in. I mean, I'll be honest, that last part of the post don't make a whole lot of sense to me. Seems to me like you shared your honesty only on the way out, but yeah, I mean, there's some things that relationships can't overcome, and especially a relatively new one, you know? If you've been married for years and he sort of schlubbed himself into this person, then you know there's somebody else underneath that you can dig out, but you don't really know this dude's history, you know? Maybe he had hoarder parents and grew up in a trash pile and thinks this is completely normal. Maybe he's in the depths of a deep depression. And I have definitely had points like that in my life as well. And I did look to relationships in order to try and fix it, and it never worked. This dude has a lot of growing to do. 42 though he may be, he's not a functional adult, and I don't know why that is, but it's not OP's job to stick around and figure that out. I don't think she should feel bad at all. I don't think the other guy should necessarily feel bad either. It's just two different people leading two different lives. They bumped into each other for some reason, probably so OP could give this dude a reality check, but after that, you move on. It's over. I'm sure it hurts after 2 months, but you know, better 2 months than 20 years. That's called the sunk cost fallacy. We'll cover that on another day. We probably have room for one more shorty in here or something. This video is kind of slapped together, but I've been enjoying this so far. So let's see what we got. Body count conversation, and then dumped, blocked, and deleted a rant. Oh, that's not a good conversation to have, honestly. Don't ask questions that you're not ready to hear the answer to, okay? It's probably the dude that asked because she's the one writing this story. Either way, should be juicy. I, 50 female, started dating the sweetest guy, 41 male, from Tinder, and we absolutely hit it off from the first date, and we went exclusive pretty quickly. We had gotten tested, we're pretty good in bed together, and we spent about 3 nights a week together. We had a lot of open and frank conversations in the beginning regarding our sexuality, and at some point we had the body count conversation. Yeah, here it comes. With me referring to, why is it a big deal? And in my opinion, especially at our age, no one really has a right to ask such a question. Yeah, that's so ridiculous. Like, I can't believe you had a past before I knew you existed. Get over yourself, bro. Yeah, there's been some before, but you could be the last if you play your cards right. He didn't play his cards right. It is just ridiculous to ask. So he shared his number voluntarily and asked mine, and I refused. Well, it's either refuse or lie. So yeah, rather than keep up a charade for many years, it's better to just shoot this one down. We can't have this conversation. You're not ready. You think you're ready, but you're not ready to have this conversation. 1, I honestly don't know. And 2, I did go to college and I had some lost years in my 20s. Like, you were getting banged out in the middle of a frat house or something? I mean, okay, you know, the past is a thing that happens. But I do gotta state that it is 100% this dude's choice if he participates in a future with you. So you can't really, you know, judge OP for having done the things that she done, but you can't judge the other dude either because he's just living his best life and finding what he wants to find. And I'm sure a lot of people would throw it out there and be like, blah, 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 it's insecurity, which is, of course, the line to lay out if you're trying to frame yourself as a big masculine man. But the truth is, I would have got out of there too. I don't know what the number is, but I guarantee it's higher than mine based on this conversation. And yeah, I'm not good with that generally. But OP wants to clarify with 3, I am a serial monogamist. I get in years plus relationships and stay with my partners and are monogamous with them for years. So what's the big deal about the number? The number matters, all right? Like it or not, it really does. It's gonna frame the way that your partner looks at you from this point out. That's why I say don't have this conversation, man. You think you're ready? You're not ready. Fast forward 6 weeks. We're getting on great. I get back from vacation, wait for him to get off work, and he has a few at the bar before he comes over. Yeah, he's getting some of that liquid courage. You better watch out, OP. Tough conversations coming. We're getting along okay, and all of a sudden, the number questions start arising. And I keep answering that I don't know. It's not your business. It shouldn't matter. I'm with you. We have a great life. I don't cheat normally. And why would I? So why do you need to know? Yeah, this guy's not gonna let it go. She done her best. She tried to warn him off, but he just wouldn't listen to the signs, you know? She knows your number. She's obviously deflecting this question for a reason. Maybe don't push it any further if you really can't hang, you know? Yeah, it's pretty obvious her number is higher than yours, but like, do you want to know how much higher? You could just imagine to yourself that it's 1 higher and go on having a fine relationship in all other aspects, according to OP. But this dude probably imagines that it's in the tens of thousands, and he's like, I just can't. What are you doing? You have to tell me. And then, OP continues, and then the math and algebra that comes out of this a-hole's mouth, basically shaming me because I've been single for a year and I dated him, number 4 man, longer than a month. And most of my partners on average are 2 to 3 months. Wait, didn't you say serial monogamist, stay with my partner for years? Now it's 2 to 3 months? Huh? Something's not adding up here. I'm starting to not trust you either, OP. Getting some of them old unreliable narrator vibes. So she continues, of course I'm physical because I'm single and dating. So the math works out in 4 years of singleness to 10 to 15 people, which is like 90% of his total number in his whole life. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, I'm seeing this dude's point of view more and more, honestly. I'm gonna be real with you. I would never get involved with that. 10 to 15 people in 4 years. Whoa. He was married for 15 years prior to divorcing last year and slept with 3 women since, me being number 3. So now I'm refusing to answer any questions and telling him he can leave or he could sleep it off, and it sort of dies down, but then it comes back up every 10 minutes or so. He's upset, but I keep saying, let it go, because he's incorrect about the number and it's none of his business. I mean, you can tell just by his behavior that he's never going to let it go. It's time to start ending the relationship within your own mind, because a drunk mouth speaks a sober mind. You know, he never stops thinking about this, even if he's not actively talking about it. And if you aren't willing to lie to keep his ego intact, then yeah, it's probably time to leave. Or just tell him the number and let him explode. Just make sure you remind him that he's the one who asked. So we finally crash out and get up in the morning, and he's dying to get out there. He's anxious that he had pissed me off, and I tell him that, yeah, you did, but we could talk about it later. He texts me a few hours later and apologized again for drinking too much and for being rude. I say we'll talk about it later when you come by. This is Thursday morning. Well, he doesn't come by, and he doesn't respond to my text, so now I'm pissed. Like, every minute ticking by, I'm getting more and more angry. I feel humiliated and shamed and just so sad that this man that I felt connected to, who I talk to several times a day, who I know truly cared for me, is totally judgmental towards me on something that I can only really control going forward. While I could see how that would be rough, you're just not meant to be, and that's okay too. I was falling so hard for this dude, so I sent a text explaining my hurt, and I broke up with him over text. I mean, you wanted to do a face-to-face, but yeah, he wasn't having it. He broke up with you via ghosting. Who broke up with who? Doesn't matter. Sad to see it. Sad to see it. I said I don't want to see him or speak to him because I know I might cave, and I cared for and trusted him, and just by pushing me on this topic and being so rude, he had broken my trust. Only because he was drunk? There's no excuse for that. And then, to save me from torturing him via text, I deleted his number after blocking. I feel so immature for blocking and deleting and blocking. Yeah, double block. But damn, I hurt, my brothers and sisters. Just here to vent and rant, and just here to say you aren't born on the day that you meet your partner. Everyone has a history. You should really only care what you have learned, not how many people you learned it from. While I will say it's sad to see a relationship end like this, it never was going to last. I'm sorry to tell you that. At the very first sentence of the post, OP calls him the sweetest guy, and I gotta point out that the sweetest guy would not do this. The sweetest guy would be understanding that you have a past. He might have had like a sugar coating on the outside, but the more time you spent with him, I'm sure you would have seen the very rotten center that is at the core of his being. Now, whether that was born out of insecurity or active malice, I can't really say. I lean more towards insecurity, but we don't have the guy's side of this conversation. So yeah, while I probably wouldn't get involved with somebody whose number dwarfs mine, I think that's absolutely okay. I think that falls under everybody has preferences. You need to be realistic about your preferences, but it's equally ridiculous for you to expect everybody to accommodate absolutely everything, you know? Everybody makes a choice whether to stay or go in the relationship every single day. He decided to go, and while you had a good time initially, just leave it at that, you know, because the foundation of the whole thing was rotten anyways. At least as far as I could tell from one singular Reddit post, which basically goes to show I know nothing about it except what we were given. But still, an interesting thing. I hope you'll bounce some ideas with me around in the comments if you'd like. Don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. I do appreciate all those things, you know. Share the video around if you know somebody who's dating over 40. Because sure, why not? We got links in the description, plugs, playlist, podcast, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Spotify, iTunes. There's so much stuff down there. Oh my God, you can get lost for days. But I do hope that you come back to me. Hang out with me again tomorrow. I would like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous Patreon patrons and YouTube channel members very much, as I do every episode. So thank you too. A Tiny Boy, Amelia Hannon, Sean Cantwell, John Endorse, Train Boy, That One Gay Cop, Valley-Eyed Crane, Sheeza, Angel Dark, Bedazzled Misery, Skylar Rain, The Fez Wearer, Rosie Rainbow, Heaven Sent, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grim Strive, AJ Colin, Tooth Plushy, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Florence Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, Faithful Danica, Wargaming Steve, Skylar Morningstar, The Gypsy Barber, Fire Drake, Samantha, Death's Flagship, and buy two, get one hand. From Patreon, Glorious Maximus, oh, that's a new one, Holly Hohen, Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Vixie, Ellipses, Captain Cloud, Jerry, Deku, Esteban, Wargaming Steve, Pete Top, Back Mouse, Downtown, Jerry, Back for Forgiveness, he sure did, PCB, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, A Very Tired Jerry, Justy Jargonian Jerry, Aaron Jerry, and Frankenberry, Ain't That a Hot Bitch Though, Assassin Bug Jerry, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Bronze Kraken, Chance the Blue Kraken, oh, those two different Krakens right there, Commander JT, Comrade Moody, Destiny Piper, Dr. Larks, Y'all, Aaron Arrow, Radic Mechanic, East Mars, Rose Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gizmo Jack, Hadrian BR, Irish Pirate, Lust the Blue Marble Leader of Mutiny, Iron Knowledge, AM Coon, Jerry Smith, Jerry Kisune, the original Jerry, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Flips to Jerry, make my name longer so ReddX speeds up the Patreon list even more. It's gonna happen. Jerry the Outlaw of the Trucker, Hong Kong, Jerry, I'm begging you, please don't take my pen. Jukebox Jerry, Cage Alex 9, Kira, Crewheat, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Greyhoundino, Lady in Awakening, Lauren Crow, Legitimate Girl, Lord Jerry, Leader of the Thunder Jerrys, Luke X was a race car driver, he was a good friend of mine, never did win that chicken flag, but I helped drink his wine, like and subscribe. Milady Dix, Melgar, the Destroyer, Metal Factor, I'm here because my cringe senses are tingling. Yeah, it worked out today, huh? Miss Black, Needles King 89, not another Jerry, but he is though. Farrakhan Soul, Phantom of the Pines, Jerry and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes, and Quagmires, Ramtide, Lackermates, Redwin, Rose, Jerry Miller, Sarita the Lolita, Scarlett's Coven, Sergeant K. Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Imp, 70 Gunner, Sign Empty Boomstick, Brilliant Tomago, the Gypsy Barber, the Lilith Who, Archer Fusky, this isn't even my final beard, Tick Jerry, trying to find another ball to get back in the real world, Vanguard Angel, VC3, Viking Jerry, Vladimir Dragonov, Wiki Tag, Zephyr Gargoyle, or Clay, One Leg Jerry has returned from battle, a normal Jerry, a right red for you, I bring Doritos, but I can't your expertise of their Trek Beards, Admiral T-Tank, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry, Zella, Breaker of the Tom Army, Bad Penny Lake, Bartender Kalia, Big Dad Wolf, Broke Spine, Horseradish, Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry, Cowabunga Jerry Girl, Carcass, Chicago Panda, Corey, there's commissions now, Cowabunga Jerry, Cryptidis, Defon Jerry, Defter Tuna, Dilf Jerry, Dwarf Dude, Fedorable Jerry, just tip the lady, ooh. I always do. Get to at the Doodles, commissions also open, Jerry Boo's daughter, Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, Half Slavic Jerry in a tracksuit, Eeknot, Hydra Jerry Solomon, Jace Christensen, Janitor Jerry's back from the abyss to clean up after the teenage beards. Good luck, Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia, Jerry in the Cringe Machine, aka Roxanne Wolfsip Jerry, Jerry Boat 2 S's and E, that's Jesse, Jerry Springer, the results are in, you are not the neckbeard, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on, check out her mustache on Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Roxers, Jerry Roleplay again, Kim Marvelous, Kids again, Machia CD, maybe next time, Miss Duchess, Mr. Gasmask, not a Viper, not a Visible Angel, Raptor, Art, Selden Dark, Snary, that's Snom, Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy, Scary, Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, they call me Jerry Two Knives, Jerry Pie, Third Stuff, this is purely a mercantile transaction. Yeah, that's pretty true. To Infinite Jerry and beyond. Tokyo Bird, Unkale, Vaughn, Venom Jerry, 2 Liter Mountain Dew, Grow by Neckbeard, Grow. It's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher. Hygiene, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher. Humility, and thank you to my $1 patrons as well. Bless up to all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. Please support alongside these people if you are able. If not, I understand. It's okay. Don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watching some more ReddX videos. Okay? Dog's going crazy next door. I'm out. I'm out for real. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.